Hi everyone, my name is Alexis. I wanted to make this video today about mistakes to never make when you first meet somebody. This is a video about narcissists and their behavior. So this is what not to do when you first meet anybody. It doesn't matter if they're a narcissist or not, because at the end of the day, you don't know who somebody is when you first meet them, obviously. So this is a mistake that I made, and I just wanted to put this out there because this is something big that people need to know, especially if you don't really know who the person is that you're talking to yet. You just met somebody, you're hanging out and stuff. And narcissists have this way about them that makes you feel very comfortable around them in their presence, and they make you want to share things about your past. But they do this is a tactic that they use to get information out of you, to know who you really are at a deeply personal level. They know how to ask just the right questions to make it seem like they're not being nosy, but in all reality they are, and they're just trying to get this information out of you so they can later use it against you. And this is a mistake that I made with my narcissist. When I first met him, I had just gotten out of a 5-year relationship, and I was single for like 2 months. I have 2 kids, so at the time I was just going to work, coming home, doing homework, and then putting my kids on the bus the next morning. Like, I wasn't talking to anybody, I wasn't hanging out with anybody. So when I met him, I got excited because I was kind of lonely and freaking desperate at the time. Sad story, I know, but whatever. So we hang out, and he seems really cool. Like, he'll tell me like little things. But one thing I notice now is that he did not open up to me how I opened up to him. Like, he asked me questions, and I like to explain things in real detail. Like, I like to explain why, how, when, who, what, where. I like to explain everything. So when I'm asked something, it kind of flatters you, because a lot of people don't ask you personal questions. Like, they don't care to know about why you are the way that you are, how you got to where you are today, what happened in your childhood. Like, a lot of people don't ask those kind of questions. So when this person comes out of the freaking woodworks and starts acting like they care, like so early on and up front, after meeting them not too long ago, it makes you want to tell them about yourself so that they can know you, because they seem like they're interested in knowing you. So don't do the mistake that I did and open up and tell them everything, every little detail about your past. Like, I told him my relationship with my parents and with my family, that my grandparents raised me, past relationships that I've had. I even told him like people that I talked to before, which is so dumb. I don't know why I did that. Like, looking back today, all I could say is that you live and you learn and you realize your mistakes, and I just know that I would never do that again, ever. Like, you really have to live and learn through some things, unless if you're told these things, which I was never told, not to share intimate details with a stranger. Like, nobody gets taught these things. So this is why I want to put this message out there, that when you first meet somebody, you don't know them at all, and don't feel safe to tell them things about you, for real. Like, don't, even if they make you feel really comfortable, like, you could tell them some things, but don't get too personal. Don't go into so much detail as to where, especially if they're not telling you things in detail like you want to tell them. Like, because narcissists have a special way that they do this. They sorry, I just saw something on the side of the road. It looked like a graveyard for a bird or something. It said "Rest in peace," whatever it said. What? That was weird. whatever. But narcissists have a way of getting information out of you without sharing too much details about themselves. Like, they'll just one word you, or like just say a couple of things just to get off the subject, like just to make you feel like they're telling you something about themselves. Sometimes they tell you things that aren't even fucking true. They'll just make shit up just so you'll feel like they're sharing stuff with you, so why shouldn't I share stuff with them? All I'm saying is just be very careful with who you share stuff with, because that's just what they do. They get you to the point where you feel comfortable, and then you start telling them about your whole past and your life experiences and stuff, and then they use it against you later on, especially if you end up forming a relationship with them. He has thrown every single thing that I have told him when I, like, that them first couple days when we started talking, he has thrown every single thing that I've told him in my face at like the most random time, like when something is related to something that I've told him. He remembered everything that I fucking told him. He remembered. And that's another thing about them, they don't forget shit. He's gonna remember everything that you're saying. It's like he's writing it down in his little notebook, in his little handy dandy notebook, just so he can use it against you later. That's really what they do. And you don't want somebody like that. Like, he's just gonna use it against you to try to bring you down, because narcissists love bringing people down. That's their favorite thing to do. They like making people feel like they are below them. They don't want you to be more powerful than them, so they'll do anything in their power to try to bring you down to their level. And when you share information with them, personal information with them, that's what they're gonna do. They're going to use that information against you, and they're going to throw it in your face, and they're going to make you feel like shit about yourself. And then you're going to say to them, well, damn, if I would have known you was going to do this, I would have never told you nothing. Or you're going to say, I should have never told you shit about myself. Like, that's crazy. I trusted you. This is exactly what I told him. I trusted you to tell you these things about myself because I felt comfortable with you. Like, these are things that, like, a lot of things I've told him I've never told anybody else before. Like, that's how comfortable he made me feel. And that's a dangerous fucking weapon that they use. Like, it's crazy. I don't know why I felt so comfortable with a fucking asshole like him, but I did. And I told him things that I've never told anybody else before. And when he threw that stuff in my face, I told him, like, that's crazy that you would do that to me. Like, I told you because I trusted you, because I felt like you cared. You were asking me things that nobody else has asked me, especially previous boyfriends and shit. Like, they never really took the time to ask me questions. Like, they wanted to understand me, and they wanted to really know who I was. But he did that, and I told him, like, and then I realized, like, this is the game. Like, this is the game that they play. He doesn't give a fuck what I'm saying. He doesn't give a they don't have empathy. They don't put, that's another thing. Narcissists do not know how to put themselves in other people's shoes. So I found myself telling him that a lot. Like, you need to learn how to put yourself in other people's shoes and try to understand what you're saying, how it affects other people around you. I said, that's really something that I noticed that you do not know how to do. And he would get mad, of course, and defensive, saying that he does know how to do that, but he doesn't. None of them do. They're just fucking pretenders, and it's crazy that to even think that there's people like that out there that will really go through all of this just to waste somebody's time and be a pretender. Like, I really can't see what they get out of it. I can't, because I could not imagine wasting my fucking time fucking pretending. Like, what? Who does that? That's just fucking crazy. I would never waste my time and pretend with somebody. Like, I just don't understand how or why they do that. But it's not meant for me to understand. It's just meant for me to spread this message out there and let other people know. I'm going to start posting a lot more videos about things that I've went through with this narcissist, because I've been through a lot of fucking shit with him. Like, out of the 6 years that we were together, we probably only had 1 year in good days. And the other 5 was all bad. That's how bad, like, he brought me down. Really bad. And a couple times I fell for it. Like, I stooped down to his level, and I would fucking react in ways that he wanted me to react. But now I know that it's best to just ignore it. Don't even fucking pay it any mind. When he says something to me now, I say, I'm sorry you feel like that. When he calls me a whore, I'm sorry you think of me like that. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna fucking sit here and beg for you to see who I really am. I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm not wasting my fucking time. If you don't want to see me for who I am, that's your fucking loss, not mine. If you want to fucking sit here and be miserable, you can fucking do that, but I'm not gonna be miserable with you. I tell him straight like that now. I'm not wasting my time anymore. And nobody else should waste their time either, because it's just a fucking game. It's just a big game to them, and they're never gonna fucking change. No matter what they say that they're gonna change, they're not. They're never gonna fucking change. So there's no point in even hoping or wishing that they might change, because they're not. I'm telling you, I used to hope and wish since year number 1. After being with him for a fucking year, I used to hope, wish, pray. Nothing changed though. Maybe for a day or two, longest maybe a week, but then they always go back to how they were before, and nothing changes. It honestly gets worse. It doesn't get better. It doesn't improve with time. It gets worse in time. And then eventually the person who's dealing with this narcissist eventually just learns how to cope with it, or learns different ways after trying different things, trying different, I don't know the word I'm trying to say, but trying different ways to react to the narcissist that didn't work in the past. So you try new ways in order to try to get different reactions, and you eventually learn what works, what doesn't. But nobody should have to deal with that anyways, regardless. It doesn't matter. If you shouldn't have to deal with it, and you shouldn't have to change yourself in order to please somebody else, because ultimately that's what you're going to end up doing. When I know I'm not the same person that I was 6 years ago. No way. I've changed 360 degrees, complete turnaround. But honestly, in my case, I'd say that I changed for the better, because I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know before. I didn't know how evil people could be. I didn't know any of that, because I'm a genuine person. I genuinely care about people and their feelings. I always put myself in other people's shoes, and that's something that he envies about me, and that's something that a lot of narcissists will envy about empaths, because they're not like us, and they don't understand how we can be so resilient to being hurt, because they were hurt in their childhood, and they didn't know how to cope with it. So they just let the anger build up and the resentment, and then they take it out on whoever they deal with in their adulthood. And I mean, we've all been hurt. Even empaths have been hurt, and we don't do that. We understand. We took the different route. We took the route where, okay, I've been hurt. People have fucked me over, but I'm not gonna let that bring me down to their level. Like, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna process it, I'm gonna deal with it, I'm gonna deal with my feelings and my emotions, and I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna be stronger now. They don't do that. They make that shit bring them down, and they make them weaker, and then they think that it's strength by trying to bring somebody else down to their level, because that's what makes them feel powerful. So they think that it's strength, but it's really strength in disguise. It's fucking weak, and it's weak as fuck. And I hope that some narcissists might watch this video, because you could fucking learn something and fucking take notes, and maybe instead of fucking trying to bring other people down to your level, maybe try to fucking process what you're feeling. Like, actually understand why you feel that way, why you're reacting that way. You got to take it back to your childhood. Why am I like this? What happened to me when I was a child that made me be like this, that made me react like this, that's making me do this? What happened? You gotta fucking sit down. You gotta meditate. This is something that I did a lot when dealing with a narcissist. I would sit in my fucking car and meditate all the fucking time. I would just sit in silence, because I just didn't want to talk. I would just rather be silent. In my head, honestly, it would bring me back to my childhood and certain situations with my dad. And I'm thinking back, like, damn, like, he's reminding me of my fucking dad, like situations that my dad used to do. I was raised by my grandparents, but I lived with my dad for 1 year. When I was in 7th grade, I lived with my dad. And he used to mock me. He's like very unemotional, total opposite of me. And when I would get emotional about something, he would mock me. He'd be like, wah, like say shit like that, like man up. Like he was really an asshole, and he was a fucking asshole, and I only lived with him for 1 year, and I ended up moving back with my grandparents because I just couldn't fucking take it. Him and his girlfriend would argue in front of me. He broke a freaking picture frame over her head once, like. But just certain moments that I dealt with my narcissist, it brought me back to that moment in my childhood. That's what narcissists need to do. They need to take the fucking time, sit the fuck down, be fucking quiet, and just be still and try and go back. Try and go back into your childhood and understand what is it that's triggering you about this person. Is it their strength? What is it? Like, is it because you feel like you can't be that strong? But that's all in your head. You can be that strong. You can learn how to be resilient. You can learn how to fucking get through shit instead of fucking keeping it all inside. You fucking move through it, push through that shit. Like, you don't, like, you're just making yourself look weak being like that, like trying to bring other people down, when all you have to do is fucking process it, walk through it, work through it, understand it, let it go, move the fuck on, decide what you're gonna be now, decide how you're gonna react now. Like, okay, this person feels like that about me, fuck it, let them. Like, we need to all fucking heal, because we've all had fucking trauma in our childhood. We've all had bad people in our lives, I'm sure. We've all probably dealt with a narcissist before, even if you don't fucking know. Narcissists aren't just in sexual relationships. Narcissists come in all shapes and sizes. Work, your boss could be a narcissist, your landlord could be a narcissist, your tenant could be a narcissist, anybody could be a narcissist, a random person in the store, your mother, your parents, your brother, your sister, your aunt, uncle, grandparents, anybody has the potential to be a narcissist. You just never know. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video. I'm at work already, so I gotta go. But I wish I could talk a little more, because I have a lot to fucking say about narcissists. But don't worry, I'll be making more videos, and hopefully, I hope people are gonna actually watch this and maybe share this with somebody that is dealing with a narcissist that maybe needs to hear this. Maybe they're not seeing the signs that they're dealing with a narcissist yet, but you have. Share this video with them. If you feel like they'd be able to relate to it. Alright, I'll be back soon to make another video. Thanks for watching.